On today's video, you're gonna learn the gospel walk-up. It's gonna sound like this. A couple things you need to know before we get started. Today, you are gonna be in the key of A flat. Now, the gospel walk-up happens during a praise break, also known as a bump. It's just a time of high praise in gospel music. Now, the scale you need to know is the pentatonic scale. It sounds like this. It's that box shape. A little bonus is if you know the major scale, which sounds like this. We're gonna start simple. If you wanna just play one note at a time, we're gonna start off playing this note and walk it up one fret at a time and do the same thing on the high E string. It's gonna sound like that. Okay? Oftentimes, guitar players feel stuck just playing the single notes because they don't know the chords behind what's happening. And today, we are going to learn, we're gonna fix that problem. So these are the single notes that you'd play as the walk-up. But in order to play what the band is playing, in order to play what the keyboardist and the organ player and the bass player is playing, we're gonna turn these into full chords. So this is an A flat chord, D flat chord, D diminished, back to an A flat dominant chord, and then we are going to play an F dominant, and we're gonna just take this shape and walk it up. Okay? So nice and slow, it'll sound like this. Now, here are a couple variations as well. You could do something like this. For the fourth chord, you could do this shape. And then for this little walk-up on the high E string, instead of playing a dominant chord, you could simply play a major triad. Both would be correct. So that second variation altogether would sound like this. Now, if we zoom out, the bass player is playing this note, which is the third note of the major scale, right? That's the third note. The bass player would be playing 3, then the fourth note of the major scale, then the sharp 4, it's just this note that's not in the major scale, but they're walking it up, and then to the 5th note of the major scale, and then 6th note. That's not in the major scale, so we would consider it not the 7th, but the flatted 7th because it's lower than the 7th. And then the 7 and back to the 1. So the bass player is doing this. And as the guitar player, you are playing the chords that make sense in the context of those being the bass notes. So right? That was variation 1. Variation 2 would be. Right? Okay. A great way to practice this is with the metronome, nice and slow. The key, though, to practicing with the metronome is that you have to put the beats on what I call the clapping beat. So if you're stomp, clap, if you have that beat, if you have that idea, you want the clicking of the metronome to be on where you're clapping. So stomp, clap, stomp, clap, stomp, clap. A lot of people don't do that. They have it just on the stomp. And that will turn you around. You'll feel upside down on things. So if it's stomp, clap, stomp, clap, stomp, clap, stomp, clap, stomp, it'll sound like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay. Now, the great thing about what you're learning today is it is movable. So say we are doing a praise break and we're doing a walk up in the key of C sharp. Well, all you have to do is find your root and move this shape up. So there's C sharp. So again, we have our pentatonic scale, and we're going to just do the same shapes. Right? All these shapes I'm showing you are movable. So originally, this was our land marker, this note, the 4th fret of the low A string. And if I said C sharp, well, then this would be the land marker, right? Based on that information, you should be able to move it all around the guitar neck, just knowing the low E string. You have to know the notes on the low E string. If this video has been helpful for you, I just launched a brand new gospel course. You can check it out in the link below.